Husky here, back with some more StarCraft 2 action. Now this time it is not Heart of the Swarm. It's going to be the first video I've cast in like 2 weeks that is not Heart of the Swarm. So I hope you guys still stay around and enjoy it because it is featuring none other than Liquid TLO up in the top left side. He has been a player who has been still playing Wings of Liberty quite a bit. Needs to make sure to stay as good as he's gotten recently. As for those of you who don't know, Liquid TLO has been playing on the Korean server a lot and has been getting much better than he was, I would say, 4 or 5 months ago. So no surprise to me that he would continue to play here, especially if TL is doing any team leagues or anything like that. They are going to need their players to be in tip-top shape. And especially since TLO is playing on the Korean server, trying to play in the Korean tournaments, it's probably much better for him to be playing Wings of Liberty. And down the bottom right side, I have no idea who the hell this is because it's the Korean server and everyone names themselves Barcode. So that's exactly what this guy's name is going to be. And you know what? I've been really enjoying casting Heart of the Swarm, but you know I still gotta fall back on my roots just a little bit. Check out a game from the good old Wings of Liberty every now and then. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Please still give it a thumbs up if you like it. And I figured, you know what, if I'm going to be casting any Wings of Liberty games, it might as well be one with TLO. We'll see exactly how he decides to play this one out. I hope it ends up being interesting. Otherwise, everyone's going to be grouchy to me. But the map is Antigua Shipyard. It's been a while since we've seen a familiar map, a familiar face, because all the new maps for Heart of the Swarm are completely different than what we're used to seeing right now. Now, it does look like TLO got to be going for some pretty standard stuff here as he is working on getting out multiple queens. It is going to be 4 queens at a time, plants down the creep tumors right away, while his opponent Barcode is going to be going for the factory here. Reactor on the way on the back of that, so we'll be able to swap those out, get those Hellions going ASAPly. And they're going to be finishing up here right at about the same second. Swaps them out. And will he decide to go ahead and go for the Hellion harass in the early stages of the game? Or is it just going to be for creep tumor denying? Or even less, is it going to be just for early map control? It always comes down to how exactly does the Terran player commit with these Hellions? Exactly what is it he plans to do? And how many Hellions is equally as important? Is it going to be 2, 4, or 6? And if it's more than 6, he has got to do some damage with it. Because if you're getting 8 Hellions out, I mean, that is 2 command centers worth of Hellions. And if you're not doing equal amounts of damage that you would based on the economy you would get, then it's definitely kind of a big deal. So I'm not going to slow it down just yet, because I don't think these Hellions are going to be doing all that too much. I will slow it down, though, if they do manage to run on inside the main base. But you can see already a transition out of this Hellion play, because he is going to be going for the expansion. He's going to be going for a 3rd command center, and also he is going to be going for double engineering bay. Now the Queen should actually get taken out here. He is going to try and kill off these Hellions. It does look like the Queen will indeed fall, and not before, yeah, wasn't even able to kill off that own Hellion right there. So the scan goes down. I'm surprised that the Hellions are not cleaning out those creep tumors, but that's because of the Zergling counterattack here. And are there any units back here to defend? Only a couple Marines here. This could actually be huge here for TLO, as Barcode, man, did not expect them to continue running on by, and actually he called the bluff for a little bit, but got a little uneasy once those Zerglings made it by, and there he goes right there. Going to be able to defend that quite easily as he realizes TLO making the correct decision is not going to go ahead and run by with those links to try and do damage. Instead, though, his creep spread is going to be out of control. Oh, I didn't turn on the timer, the in-game timer here, because this is a new computer, and I actually haven't cast Wings of Liberty. However, just know that he is going to be spreading that creep out super quickly and pushing out towards the center of the map with 4 creep tumors at a time. That's going to be absolutely crazy here, and it does look like the expansion going to be going down for Barcode right now. He has managed to retain these Hellions. I feel like that is something that is always vital, and the reason is because look at this, Baneling nest on the way, and that means that the Hellions got to be able to deal with those Banelings super-duper easy, and these Zerglings really want to get in on the action of killing out these rocks. Unfortunately, that is not going to happen. His creep spread is actually bananas right now. But either way, it does look like Barcode going to be getting out medevacs. He's got the Marine count pretty darn high. He is working on the 1-1 attack upgrades and armor, which is nearly done. 2-2 is going to be on the way for TLO. Barcode is going to be going up against Pathogen Glands pretty soon, but his unit composition is starting to shape up quite easily to be a very powerful unit composition there. Did end up losing those Hellions in the center, though, as he did get a little too aggressive with that. And, I mean, again, that means that these Zerglings are going to be that much more effective versus this army composition. A big stim forward, and not going to be able to kill those off, but they do grab that center watchtower. That means that Oh my god, this creep spread's like almost in his main base here. I don't know if he can jump a creep tumor across, but we're about to find out as TLO has spread all the way through the center. There's the scan right now. Now, usually you would expect a Terran player to be able to clean up a lot more than that. Should be able to save these Marines if he wants to, but no, decides to kill the Lynx instead. helping to even out that unit's loss tab just a little bit. We do have Hive Tech now going to be on the way here as well. Scans on the left side. There we go. That's the creep spread, denying that we need to be seeing, although this creep tumor could go up on the high ground as well, and that's exactly what he's going to do there. So did deny some creep spread, but not all that much. It will begin to recede nice and slowly, but for now, you can see just how slow it actually takes for that creep to recede. It basically takes forever. We do have the expansion up at the top. 0 for TLO going to be going down as well. Let's take a look at the army size right now, as we have 41 to 65. Both players just macroing heavily here at this stage of the game. You would expect to see players starting to get a lot more units. He is going to go ahead and grab the center watchtower. Has to be careful though, because the infestors are out in force. The pathogen glands are done, and that's going to be a lot of beastly fungals basically viable here for TLO. He's got crazy good map vision, so what is Barcode to do? He's basically forced to sit back on these 3 bases to try and figure something out, whether it's going to be drops, whether it's going to be a big maxed out timing push through the center. I mean, it's going to be completely up to him. He is turtling here though, as he is expecting TLO to attack, but TLO can actually be maxed out anytime he wants. And it does look like right now the big fungals on the army do go down, and just kind of sizing each other up right now. We'll take a look at the units lost here. That is still favoring Terran, so even though he's behind in expansions, it's got to be okay. He can also tell us it's a ladder game because of the high yield minerals in the middle. Nice pickup there by TLO though to clean out some of those brains, but he will lose all those Zergies. The infestors could get taken out as well, but not before throwing out a beast fungal. Thankfully for Barcode, though, he does have a lot of medevacs now. But at the same time, there is going to be a counterattack here at the 3rd base, at the natural as well. TLO slipping in here completely uncontested and is taking out these SCVs here. They finally do realize what's happening and are going to be able to get out of there without any massive losses. But at the same time, Barcode needs to make sure to set up a good position here, as the SCVs have completely evacuated this expansion. Will force a scan as well, it looks like, if Barcode knows that these Zerglings are indeed still here. Which he's got to assume that something iffy's going on here. We'll see if he wastes a scan on that one or not, or if he just decides to leave them. Although it really wouldn't be a waste, because he could end up losing a lot of units. But the 3-3 upgrades are on the way right now. We have chitinous plating on the way here for TLO, so oddly enough, he is going to be going for Ultralisks, but with so many overlords on the map, how did creep tumors even get over here? Oh, there's a queen over there putting creep on the right side. Creep still going down in the bottom expansion as well, and the Zerglings finally getting cleaned up there with a relatively easy scan. I don't think this drop's going to be doing all that much damage, though. No, it is not. Nice fungals, though, on these medevacs. Is going to be able to basically kill these off. Goodbye, medevacs number 1 and 2. That's going to put TLO in the lead now. As far as units lost is concerned, the income is looking about even. I mean, yes, I know it's about 600 to 800 more, but at the same time, you know, our Terran player is going to be maxed out here pretty soon, I would imagine, unless he keeps losing some workers here. But either way, I mean, it's going to come down to, can this army basically reset the score? Can he take out a base? Can he do any sort of damage with this timing push? You gotta remember, he does have +1 mech. And why is the infantry upgrade kind of stuck? I don't know. Where are these engineering? Oh, there we go. Okay, it is delayed by the overseer there. That's actually going to be huge if we can keep doing that. The Ultra's got to run right on in here and clean this out. This is supermarket sweep with huge fungals going down. Although the Ultras, are they able to get the hits off that they need? Yes, they are. But overall, the units lost is still relatively even here. He is going to pull ahead a little bit as these medevacs get taken out by fungals. But either way, it's going to cost all the energy on these infestors. So that, can any of them escape? Nope, they're just chilling out right there. But for now, the Overseer is still kind of hiding in the base. Could use Contaminate again as well. Did delay that +3 attack long enough for during that battle. It definitely did not play a role. So unfortunately for Barcode, falling way behind after losing those medevacs. And if he doesn't do some damage with these drops, then he is going to be in a world of hurt here. He looks like he's going to clean out a couple overlords. But I mean, TLO, he's maxed out. So even the micro required to kill off these overlords is almost not worth it, because the overlords have overlord speed. It also is going to reveal that there is a drop down here. And I have a feeling that TLO has way more overlords than he's ever going to need. As far as losing them, he should be just fine. Is going to delay this +3 once again. And I mean, it is kind of annoying when he's trying to kill off these overlords here, and could potentially be trying to do some drops as well. But TLO is playing turtle power. Look at all these defensive structures that he has going here around the edges of the map. That's going to allow these 4 bases to remain relatively undroppable at this point. The Marines should be able to clean up these Zerglings, maybe not. Nope, not going to be able to, as the Lings do now have the 3 attack completed. 3 armor is on the way, but it's still, oh, you do not want to land there. Holy Toledo. See that? I was doing some rocket racing casting there. But anyways, it does look like you know, this command center looks lost out there, as it does have a lot of ultras in position here. Landing this is not going to go very well. The scan goes down. I don't know if he can see that circling. Yes, he can, but the Siege Tanks wasted their shot on the Lings. Other than the, rather than the ultras here, nice drop over here, should be able to kill us off actually. So gotta be getting a little bit of momentum, but here comes the sandwich of death. This is a lot of units though for Barcode. Can he do the damage? Oh, huge focus on those SCVs that were trying to transfer over. So many ultras. Gotta get, be able to clean this one out. Does burrow some Baneling landmines right here, waiting for the Marines to run over there, and could detonate, and he does. Nice play there, but Marauders surprisingly effective versus Ultras here. You can see that with a little bit of micro, these Marauders are going to be able to take down these Ultras. However, you have to remember that Zerg's biggest weakness in the TVZ matchup is being able to commit, being able to end the game by killing off the main base, and that's exactly why TLO is being passive here. He's being careful. He knows the upgrades are good. The siege tank positioning could be good as well. And a burrowed Ultra to deny an expansion. That's not something you see very often. Decides to upgrade this into a planetary right away. Should probably begin repairing it, though, because the Ultras are going to be running directly into it. Could force the cancel and the liftoff, and does get it up. Can he save it right there? Yes, he does, and is able to repair that, but he definitely needs to do as much damage as he can with these drops. A nice burrow there on that Queen, as TLO using some good multitasking here. A couple Marines getting taken out, sliced down to size, and there's the Ultras. They're going to be able to clean that up quite easily, but a drop over here, taking out the Queen, taking out the creep tumors here, as Barcode doing everything he can, but TLO, I mean, he's all over the place with this creep thread, with the Ultras, with the Zerglings, and the expansion. So can he save this expansion? The answer looks like yes so far. Two Banelings now be morphing in, but can easily drop right here behind the mineral line in that sweet spot. But somehow, Barcode has pushed his way to the center of the map. He's got a little bit of momentum going. He is going to kill off a couple of Banelings here as well. Although, yeah, that definitely was not cost effective for TLO. Another burrow here, so great use of the burrow research. TLO is coming in at a pretty poor angle. Does manage to kill off the planetary though, and with good fungals is able to do the damage he needs to. However, he may end up losing these Ultras, because when all is said and done, I mean, there is full upgrades on these units, so the DPS output is going to be quite absurd. The medevac trying to find a good spot to drop. The multitasking here of our Barcode player is pretty top-notch, though, but he is going to be landing an orbital here, probably from the main base. Yes, it is, as his main base is mined out. Only a couple hundred gas remains, and you can see that Terran players in the late game do not really need Vespene gas as much. I mean, it's so difficult to actually use that effectively. The Infestor's very nervously going to be moving out, and has to be careful with those units. One Baneling here, he could detonate it. Don't even know if it's going to be worth detonating it on that small of an army, rather than just getting the intel of what army is there. I'll keep it selected in just a moment, though. The high yield expansion is going to get taken out, so again, the wheels of momentum slowly turning further and further into our Blue Terran Barcode's favor here. Now, if we do see a transition into Brood Lords, that could be very, very difficult to deal with. I think he's delaying factory production. Yes, he is right there, using that Overseer continually here. That poor little Baneling, man, if he unburrows, could do some pretty awesome damage. But for now, it looks like killing an expansion or two here. But at the same time, he might lose this orbital. Is forced to lift off right here. And does he detonate that Baneling? He probably forgot about that Baneling, let's be honest. But either way, it does look like he has denied the expansion. Once again, both players kind of going back and forth here in this game. A nice fungal on these Marauders, though. And it's not going to be enough to kill them off, but it is keeping that medevac energy as low as possible. Which, as you can see, the medevacs are almost out of energy. More fungals got to be going down right now. Can he actually clean out this army, though? Ultra's not the best unit at this stage of the game. There's the tech switch to the Greater Spire. That's exactly what he has to do, is rely on the Zerglings to absorb the damage from the Marauders, allow the Broodlords to clean up everything else, and then if there's no anti-air, you basically win those battles, because all that's left is the Marines. But at this point in the game, does our Blue Terran realize that he can deal or that you know, TLO is going to be switching to the Greater Spire. There it is right there. He is going to be working on upgrades as well. Double upgrades, it looks like, as he has completed that second Spire. Taking a look at the income here, it does look like Barcode is in the lead. The Spinecallers decide to move here, but at a poor time as the drop right there. Look at that, some nice Marine micro to get out of there, and TLO was looking somewhere else, unable to fungal growth that before it gets away. This Baneling still chilling out over here. This is like the world's longest living Baneling, as he has not been told to sacrifice himself for the greater good. Does look like a potential drop inside the main base. TLO got to be falling back right now to attempt to deal with this. The Brood Lords could be on the way any moment now, as the Corruptors are on the way, but does look like the drop going to be cleaned up here for now. The Corruptors showing themselves to try and kill off these medevacs, basically forcing the drop to happen. And there's going to be an attack down the bottom center. There's also attack up the top center, and the orbital's so low on HP. might actually get taken out here, but at the same time, the expansion up here could go down. The drop in the main base doing substantial damage as well. No infestors here. Attacks are happening all over the place. The command center did eventually get taken out right now, and the army right here is positioned very well in the center to help protect this army. But at the same time, these drones are just going to transfer to an unsaturated base. This base over here is not saturated either, so he's got to do a lot more damage than just one hatchery kill. But both players are basically running on fumes as far as the amount of money they have. They have a lot of gas, but I mean, no one's Protoss here. You can't warp in 10 High Templar to eat up into that gas. As both players, I don't think TLO is going to be able to get out a Brood Lord yet. So I can't believe our Terran players actually managed to do this. He's going to be locking down another expansion here, showing us that, you know, never give up, never surrender. The Ultra is going to be booking it over here with the Zerglings to try and deal with this right now. The Ultras might get taken out as well, but the Zerglings going to be able to take out the important tanks. The drones getting in on the action to allow that Ultra to do as much splash damage as possible. But can TLO actually clean up this army? He is behind an army supply, but it looks like with one nice fungal, a second one to follow it up, he will barely clean this up. And my god, he's managed to stay in this game. I thought for sure he was going to lose that battle. He is way behind on the units lost, though. However, you have to remember that Barcode has no income, so he's going to be relying on winning with this army right here, right now. And at this point in the game, it's kind of hard to tell exactly who's going to win because the army supplies, let's take a look, 47 to 76. But the income should be favoring TLO, right? Yep, it is barely. Although, I don't even know where the Terran player is mining from. Oh, just this expansion right here. He definitely wants to try and get that high-yield expansion up in the middle. But it looks like TLO has already placed an Overlord there to deal with it. And neither player really able to mine anywhere at this point. The expansion down here is going to get taken out. The drones will most likely have to burrow to hide. Will TLO be able to save these units? Does Barcode know that they're down here? We are about to find out, as the Infestor could, though, fungal this army to try and deal the damage he needs to. The drones completely out of position. They're going to get taken out. Those poor drones at the same time, though, the SCVs in the center are going to get taken out. So this is definitely a good game to choose. If I'm going to be casting any Wings of Liberty games, I definitely think that this deserves a thumbs up because this game is outstanding play by both these players. Zerglings going to be patrolling to deny any expansion on the left side. The Overlords here got to get cleaned out, but it does take 60 in-game seconds for this creep spread to clear out. So you might actually have to land it kind of like right here or something to begin at least getting some sort of income here. Can't expand to the top center one either because, well, there's creep spread there. It looks like the Infestors here could throw out the Infested Terrans if they want to. One Marine right there trying to scout to see if there's an expansion up. But neither player having any income hardly at all. Where is he even getting this? It's like off of this one mineral patch, I feel like. The expansion up here, though, does have quite a few mineral patches he can begin mining from to at least get some sort of income, some sort of amount of money to throw down another hatchery when he's able to. But it's kind of a stalemate right now because really, what can the Terran player do? What can TLO do? Nice scan there to spot that Infestor, because every unit at this point in the game is going to be absolutely vital, and TLO has got to come up with something fancy to deal with this army, because at some point he needs to attack the army directly. I think that no, the Baneling's still there. Oh my god, this Baneling has a life expectancy much longer than the average Baneling. He'll drop over here to clean out those patrolling Zerglings, so he's got to be able to eventually land up there. But at what point does TLO realize, hey, I'm almost out of money. He's going to have to transfer his drones back up here. They're all mining off of that one base. And his worker count is exceptionally low here. 16 workers to 34. But Fungals from the Infestor here to kill off the SCVs. That's going to even it up a little bit. Very nice play there. And that's exactly what he needs to do to get himself back in this game. Then Baneling finally detonates, and couldn't have been a better time there on top of the SCVs. So that Baneling finally paying for itself. Taking a look at the units tab again. We have 15 drones to 20 SCVs. How is this mineral patch not mined out yet? It's still got 115 minerals there. But what does TLO actually do? He has managed to afford 2 Broodlords, and there is only 1 Viking on the field. But is there any anti-air? The 1 Corruptor versus the 1 Viking. It's going to be a battle for the ages here. But what exactly does TLO do here to deal with this center army? He does have the Infestors in position here. Could go for a pretty crazy fungal. At the same time, a couple Marines and Marauders going to get hacked down here. I love that death animation as they slice in half. So TLO has whittled it down a little bit. Here comes the Broodlords now. 4 Broodlords to be exact, and with no anti-air here other than the Marines. They might actually have to retreat right now, although TLO's got to be careful here with this army. He scans, he sees 5 Broodlords. I don't even know how TLO can afford these. He did use his last Corruptor though, so he's got to be careful. And big fungals. This is exactly what TLO needs. This is the momentum he needs to be able to take this game At the same time, though, our Barcode player working on Marines and Viking production to try and deal with these Broodlords. It's kind of funny because every shot he can get off on these Broodlords is huge, because if he can kill off a couple of them, that's going to turn the tide back into his favor. But the Broodlord's doing massive damage so far, as the Siege Tank's just doing splash damage here. That medevac has 2 HP. That random Broodling flying all the way over there. Sometimes I'm confused by the AI. But the Queen can easily transfuse on these Broodlords to keep them alive for a little bit longer. But you got to remember, the high yield expansion is secured here. That's why his income is looking much, much better. He's got 2 Marines positioned at either base here to prevent any sort of expansion. Spore Crawler is going to be brought up here to try and help this push to protect these Broodlords. Broodlords are at full HP. Honestly, though, what I feel like needs to happen here is just a big drop into the main base with every single unit, because trying to engage the Broodlords directly is going to be devastating. Getting Siege Tanks out, not even a good choice here. I think it's going to be pure Viking is what he needs to deal with this army, because all that's left are a couple of Infestors. Fungals do go out, but is he going to be able to kill off the Corruptors? He absolutely needs to. The Marines trying to stem the run forward. Keep an eye on that supply count, though. Can he continue this Marine production to deal with these Broodlords? I think at this point he definitely needs to get out. Oh, Siege Tank shot there. Actually doing extra damage to that command center here. So 25 kills on this Siege Tank, but how much of it has actually been something useful? I feel like it's just the Broodlings right now. He still got promoted to Commander, though, and that's all that matters. There is an attack up at the top center. We'll be able to kill off this expansion, and this is exactly what he needs to do, is he needs to find a way to get the army out of position to stop this push forward. Also, what he needs to do is scan right here and take out these creep tumors so he can land here, even if he just lands a command center right there, which is exactly what he's going to try and do. But he has no HP on this. He needs to repair it as quickly as possible, but he's only got 34 minerals. I don't think that's enough to get it out of the red, so that's going to be another command center that gets taken out here, unless he can find a way to get some minerals. I don't think he's going to be able to do that, though, here, as the Broodlord's now trying to jockey for position. The army supply 35 to 60. And the command center, oh, he does manage to save it a little bit. He's got to try and get it over there. I don't actually know if that's going to work out. A couple of Marines are taking out Overlords, which, you know, he has finally cut into that Overlord supply. And there he goes. Looks like he will be able to barely save this command center here. And this is what he needs to do. Try and get the army out of position. Try and get an expansion. And also needs to make sure that this is, because this is still in the red, even though it's technically orange, he needs to begin repairing that. If he loses it, there he goes. He finally gets 1 SCV on there. He's trying to not waste any money at all. Even on repairs, it's almost not worth it. So he is going to go ahead and repair that up here for quite some time, though. Make sure he doesn't lose it. But now he's kind of backed himself into a corner right now. And the Infestor sneaks in here to do huge, huge fungals once again, almost even killing off the mules there. And I don't think medevacs heal mules because they count as, they're not biological, they're just mechanical. So the medevacs will heal the SCVs, but not the mules. The mules are going to time out here. It does look like, taking a look at the income tab here, it is heavily favoring our Terran, but TLO has managed somehow to secure an expansion down here. This is such a nail-biter of a game, because can our Terran player deal with these Broodlords? If he can get out some Vikings, the answer is yes, but he's trying to rely on a strong ground. Right, there's the stem. This is the moment he's been waiting for, and could kill off the Infestors, but 2 Fungals, 3 Fungals go down. The Infestors still are somehow alive. Does he overcommit? It looks like he might, but does manage to kill off the Infestors. Could kill these very vital Queens as well. He could stem and run to the north. Does he decide to do it? The Marines are so low on HP. The Broodlord's trying to get away. 1 Broodlord falls. The second one goes down, but the Marines are all going to die because they have no HP. These medevacs running so low on energy. The supply is now almost identical. There are 2 Broodlords remaining in this game. More Corruptors are on the way here. But can he kill off this expansion right now? There is enough Marines here to deal with these Broodlords, and the Broodlords are out of position here. Can he get them? Down goes 1. Only 1 Broodlord remains with Fungals. Not even where this Infestor is able to kill it off, but it does burrow at the last second. And my God, TLO tried to deny the expansion, was unable to, but now he himself has his own expansion with 3 more Broodlords on the way. Still surprised to see no Vikings, but honestly, his income is so bad. How many SCVs does he even have? 7 SCVs and 20 drones. This might actually be it. This is the last push. It looks like he's not going to have any money to back this up. He is doing a lot of damage here, though, and the Infestors could get taken out. This 1 Marauder, he is the Infestor killer. He's up to 7 kills. There's the scan. Got to be getting 8 kills, and finally gets taken out there. Both those Marauders, though, do have 8 kills apiece, and a lot of those were Infestors. Taking a look at the units lost here, TLO is behind, but he's been ahead in the spending here, which means he has more to lose. So at this point right now, the Marines got to try and kill off some of these Corruptors, because he knows potentially these will be Broodlords. But the last 2 Marines finally get taken out, but the Marine, his last dying wish was to kill off that Broodlord, and it was granted. The Infestor could just throw out some infested Terrans here. I think this is exactly what he's queued up. And there's the GG. What an awesome Wings of Liberty game there, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I won't be casting too many of these, but it was TLO, man. What an awesome game. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.